Hello everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We've got three quick updates here on the XXX Crypto. That is XLM, XDC and XRP. Couple, if not three, of our favorite bags here at Wells of Wall Street. We're going to kick this off with XRP, so we're not going to do any news updates. There haven't been too many, to be fair. I think we've covered quite a bit of them during last week. So trying to plow out as many chart videos as we can today amongst all the other things I'm doing in the real world to enjoy my life, of course. So let's go into XRP, guys. So obviously we've had quite a nice little move up here in the last few days. Let's just remove that previous price range analysis. We're going to put a new one in here just to confirm where we've gone from. We could go from here, but I'm just going to do it from this point, just about. So nearly 20%. Increase in the price point from that previous point here of around the 28th of September. So what we're looking for with XRP right now is this support line around this 104 mark. Okay, this has been quite an annoying number, as well as this line here, which is around 107. Okay, so everyone's trying to sort of, the bulls are supposed to be trying to push that sort of 1.10. And it's coming a bit difficult, of course, in the last few weeks. But the reason I've drawn this orange line here is because it's quite a good reflection period across history, certainly in the last couple of months, where we've had resistance. So it's quite a natural thing to see this. But what's going to be interesting is these next few days, because the volumes have obviously calmed down in the last 2 days. Okay, so we've had this nice little rise, and we're trying to attack this 104 area. Now, albeit that we have just about switched over into a bullish MACD here, down here on this trend line on the MACD, there's three levels of volume kicking in very, very slowly. Okay, now this isn't enough for me to say that we are starting to go into a bull run, like a full bull run. I think there is an opportunity still potentially for a slight drop down to test these lower regions again one more time, because we haven't had that much in history, certainly this year, of these areas. So it could be, I mean, particularly around here, if you look around this area that we saw between the 22nd and 24th of September, where we're sort of literally just under that $1 mark, there could be an opportunity for those that have missed out or perhaps got paid late or this, that and the other, that we might see a reflection downwards into this section here. So it is certainly worth, and I know sometimes it sounds silly to think, oh, it's only just 4 cents, but actually think about that concept when you're buying even lower priced assets, right? I don't really tend to look at price things, because you could go buy Solana and it's obviously more expensive per Solana. That doesn't make any difference. It's all about the gains, right? But 4 cents is actually quite a lot of accumulation in terms of what's achievable in that aspect, if you think of it that way in the long run. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I do think that we could potentially come back and test this $1 and certainly maybe down even to that 97 cents. Are we going to come back down here? Of course, it's still a possibility, but I do think we're starting to get some nice traction, and we're sort of edging now, of course, into October already. I can't believe we're saying that. But, you know, mid to October to the end of October, we do want to see, certainly XRP hitting a way back up here again. We're still far off the previous all-time high up in these regions. Oh, I've just moved the wrong thing. So we've got a bit of time to do this, and $1.98 was the previous all-time high up here back, I believe, around April time. So we've got a lot of room for movement. Now, it's not a bad thing to be buying right now. Not financial advice, just opinion. The reason I'm sort of saying that, of course, we're sort of in the middle of the RSI right now, so it's pretty much in limbo mode as to whether it's trying to test this area and push up to the next levels, i.e. sort of 110, and then moving up to that sort of 121 mark, maybe by the end of October, hopefully. But it's also a testing ground to say, is this line resistant still? And then we need to come back and test these lower regions, perhaps, as I said, maybe 97 cents or $1 before we push up fully. So let's keep an eye on that. But in the grand scheme of things, it's starting to look really positive. This whole stabilization area around here is positive in my mind. And we are looking to certainly start pushing up more and more. in the next few weeks. I'm certain of it. But yeah, going back to that point about buying right now, I wouldn't be angry personally if I was getting some more XRP. I did get a bag the other day when we dropped down to here. I think I got mine around 90 cents. I missed the 87. I think asleep still. So there is you're reducing the risk, but I think that there is a possibility that we still come down before we do a tail up in the near future. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Are you holding XRP? What have you been doing in the last month or so? Have you been taking advantage of this correction that we've seen pretty much since that sort of 6th, 7th of September mark? Of course, we are rallying. And another positive attribute is this nice aspect that we've been having a really good correction down to this point here. And it's a nice little trend going on here in a forwards direction. So looking forward to seeing how this works. Let's check this out again in a couple of days' time. We're going to try and do more chart videos as much as we can. We've got a lot of intro videos coming this week, as well as some other things, and trying to catch up on the other ones as well. So let's try and do these XXX cryptos on a regular basis for you guys, especially as we're entering this exciting run, so we can look at advantages of where we might be selling personally and also where we're buying personally as well. So hopefully that helps out. So that wraps up Ripple, guys. Let us know in the comments below if you are holding XRP. Absolute powerhouse, and we're looking forward to seeing how that goes in the near future. If you're liking our content, please do smash that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, so that you get notified of all our notifications and videos coming to your way in the future. Let's run into XLM Stellar. So we did a couple of updates on these guys. I've said it in the previous video, I truly believe this is a sleeping giant. Hopefully you guys took advantage of this area that we said around this time when we did the previous video. Because we did believe that it was going to trace up, but the whole market has made this move, so it's not like it's magic or anything like that, or we're predicting the future. We just felt that this area around here, even right now, is a sleeping giant mode, in my opinion. Of course, we've had this nice rise up. Let's just take a quick look at that in terms of percentage gain. So from that period of 28th of September, we have had, sorry, give me 2 seconds. We have had an increase, drum roll please, of from this point here at 25 cents all the way up here to 33 cents ish. We've had approximately 25% increase in that move there. So really interesting stuff here. We've had a bit of a tail off thus far today. We've got to keep an eye on this, okay? Profits haven't been taken, which I find quite interesting. So I'm actually going to leave these buy areas here in this chart to sort of measure as we potentially come back down to see if we test these areas, particularly this area around here, 28 cents. And I would be quite interested to see if we get stabilization at this support line of around 31 cents, which we're currently staying at right now. If we can do this for 2-3 days, in my opinion, or bounce around it, we could take ourselves up with Stellar to maybe that 34-cent mark. And hopefully by the end of October, we will be pushing near enough that 40 cents and trying to achieve breaking these previous resistance barriers here. We're well off still the all-time high around 79 cents. We've got plenty of room for movement. But yeah, in the macro level, it's looking really interesting for sure. But yeah, it's all, in my opinion, around this area that we are sat at now. Can we get a close off today above this sort of 30-cent mark-ish, 31 cents? If we can do that over a 2-3 day period, doesn't matter if it bounces a bit, as long as we get closes over this period, we can successfully maybe say that this is a new support line, we can start pushing up. Because we have had quite a bit of activity. As you remember, we drew this previous yellow line here. We smashed through that yesterday, which is actually a positive thing. But like I said, we may come back down. That's why we're leaving this potential buy area back in here. So there could be some opportunities to buy back in at 30 cents. And even maybe it might touch back down to around that 29 to 28 cent mark as well. So just keep an eye on that. The MACD is looking more positive than it was last week. We've had 3 days of intake of sell volume. It's slightly different to Ripple. We've had a bit more volume coming in than Ripple have. But let's keep an eye on that, because what we don't want to see is a fluctuation of an intake too quickly and into such a short space of time, because that can create a ripple effect, excuse the pun, but it could entail a small correction of maybe 50% or 30% at least. in the opposite direction in a similar fashion. And we don't want to see that kind of volatility. We want to see a nice healthy rising up, a bit of a wave pattern, and then keep rising up. That's how we're going to build momentum for this run coming up as well. In terms of buying opportunities, as we just said about these two areas, I again am still standing by that this area right now that we are in, it's limiting risk. And I think it's, again, not financial advice, but in my opinion, if I'm buying into XLM again, it's a great position to be in if you're looking at the long term. And what I mean by long term is the next few months, 2-3 months. It's a great opportunity to be buying it. It is truly a sleeping giant, or a sleeping lion, as we put in our previous video. I think everyone's going to be very surprised. Everyone was sort of thinking, oh, it's dead, it's not doing anything, it's not moving. That's the best times to be getting these kind of things. If you believe in the project and you know what the project's about, especially with Stellar Lumens, guys, this is massive in the CBDC world for what we see coming, from next year onwards in governments worldwide. And Stellar is going to be one of the main powers behind that, the whole processing power of that. You've got to think, wow, okay, when this news comes out and when they actually take on full adoption, this thing will absolutely rocket through, especially in a few years' time. So not only is this price good for that period of time, but also for this year, in my opinion. Let us know what you think in the comments below of that one. 13% up on the week, which is really good to see, considering last week's video wasn't too positive. The month we're still down, but we have had 2 or 3 Bitcoin major influencer corrections in that period of time. 24% up on the 3 months and 146 up year to date. Of course, percentage wise, this isn't as big as many other projects out there, but I'm not fussed about that. I believe in the project. I know what it's about, and I hope you guys do as well, because this is an absolute powerhouse and the financial institution for the world finance moving forward. This is golden age, guys, right now, in my opinion. Let us know what you think about that. Let's shoot into probably our favorite bag of all of them, XDC's Infin. This is still so under the radar compared to all other assets in this sort of sector. And what Zinfin's about to achieve. We know we talked about R3 Corda quite recently, as well as in all our intro videos for XDC, and what this whole scenario and system is all about, and what it will be for everyone in the world, and how Zinfin will power it. It's absolutely phenomenal hybrid blockchain, incredible power, incredible opportunity. And what R3 Corda are doing with multitude of different partnerships through various different sectors around the world. We've done one about fuel recently. Go check those out. Linking that up with the likes of Vodafone in the recent CordaCon, which was an event held here in London a few days back. Incredible. I haven't even gone through all the videos yet, but I had to pick out some that were really interesting to me around IoT and AI. And it just so happened they started waffling on about energy. And I was like, wow, we've been talking about this for ages. This isn't being righteous. It's the fact that trying to wake up to see what is going to be happening and what projects are really worthwhile thinking about in terms of investments, not just for the short term now, but the long term as well. And this is certainly one of them. Let's take a look at this chart. 13 cents we're hovering around at the moment. This is a really key level of support area that we're trying to achieve. We broke down, we got this buy option. We didn't quite get back down to here again, but we did hit that earlier in the month, or certainly end of last September, sorry. And we've had the little correction, as we said, that we might see because of this big tail up. We had the news and everything coming out of CordaCon and this, that, and the other. And we tailed off after all the news came out. And now we're starting to ramp up again. Okay, so this is really key. If we get maybe 2-3 days closure over this 13 cent mark, we'll be definitely trying to be pushing for that 14 cents, which we had resistance twice on 27th and 28th of September. We also had key critical areas where we just couldn't revamp that sort of intake again as we were coming down into a bearish momentum. The MACD finally kicked back in around about this period here of the 23rd, 24th. This was the intake here that you could see this little pattern rising. What I love about this is the small waves. We haven't got parabolic runs and parabolic drops. We've got a nice wave pattern here trying to get these new support lines. We almost ticked this off in my opinion. I think we might potentially still come back here, just maybe possibly one more time around that 10 cents. So it could be an opportunity to purchase some there. Not financial advice, just opinion, of course. But I love this wave and step pattern. If we can get a similar move like we see here, I think we can definitely come up to this 14. So those that are investing back down here might want to take some profits. just in case there's a bit of a tail back down. Let's just quickly take a look at where we've moved from there. So taking that point all the way up here, so that's a good 50% intake there. So that is, in my opinion, a good profit. It's taken some of that profit out, possibly around that area for the tail off. But let's take a look right now and think that if we do take back up here again, it's a good opportunity. What I will be interested in is when we get to this point, will we break that resistance barrier that we failed to do on the 27th, 28th? Okay, and even back here, the beginning of September, look at that. First to arguably the 6th of September, we had 4 or 5 attempts, failed it. So it's really important. If we can get close over there, maybe in a week or two's time, I truly think we can start powering upwards. But like I said, it's opportunity to take advantage. We saw these 3 areas that we drew in previously, if you remember. We went down as we thought we would. We came back up here where we thought we would. Now can we get to up here within the October period? And that will sign off the 3 elements that we were trying to aim for in this period of time, in the order that we thought it would happen as well. So really pleased with that. But yeah, obviously it's not financial advice. All opinions and thoughts around analysis and data and everything that we know. It's really good. So we're seeing the wave that we talked about just here, and we can confirm that in the histogram here of volumes. There's a bit of a pale one here today, so that's why I said we may come back and test this area. But if we can get a nice level pattern, we may start pushing up in a nice format to push to that 14.5 mark. MACD is looking positive. The gap is very slowly widening. That is positive as well. RSI is bang on in the middle, so it is in limbo mode. That's why we're being a bit cautious right now. If you're buying XDC as of now, again, not financial advice, but I would be saying that these kind of prices, I mean, I was getting most of them at sort of 4 cents anyway. I'm still bagging them now because I know where XDC will go, not just in the short term, but the long term especially. It's an absolutely phenomenal project. Go and do some research on R3 Corda, Behind Labs, who's founded them. We need to do that video actually. I'll try and do it in the next few days. We've got a load lineup of videos coming out. But we'll do an introduction to the back end of Zimfin and who's been basically setting this up, because it's absolutely amazing how the transition of bankers and CEO bankers have now transitioned across to projects like Zimfin. Years ago, while it was all quiet, no one realized this was happening. You've got to follow the money, guys. Follow that money. Guys, let's wrap that up. Let us know if you're holding either of 3 of these powerhouse token crypto assets, and let us know your price predictions for each 3. We're going to plot them into the charts in the next video, and those that are closest at the end of this year will be in the chance to win ledgers, okay? Ledger hardware wallets. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you in all 3 of these crypto assets on the moon. Bye-bye.